What's guys, the Red Cloak here. Today I have a matchup that is seemingly kind of good, but at first I thought this was pretty dumb, that saying, man, All Might would crush Shigaraki like a bug. Then actually thinking about it and actually going into My Academia, rereading it, I think Shigaraki stands a good chance, but I won't tell you guys who wins because all I gotta say is it's gonna be unexpected. We're gonna be going over, All Might when he fought the Hayanomu in USJ, and we're talking about Prime Shigaraki. Well, Shigaraki that fought everyone in the war. If you don't agree with me, that's completely fine. You don't have to, but I think this is my certified opinion, so I do think that my opinion should be heard. Again, if you agree with me, that's great, and we can do more versus battle if you guys want. Yeah, if you are new, make sure to subscribe. I'm not going to continue doing the gist of it. You actually already know what we do here, and so if you're new, you can just check my other videos. Now I'm going to get this out the way right now. If All Might fights Shigaraki in a densely populated area, Shigaraki should get the win. All Might wouldn't have enough attention on Shigaraki to fight him off in his full power, so Shigaraki should get the win here. If we're talking about no citizens, this fight should be pretty good. Now I'm going to talk about All Might real quick. All Might has one for all, I'm pretty sure we all know this, and he's more of a close combat fighter with melee in it. And I will say this, against Shigaraki, mostly plus ultra Shigaraki, somebody who has ultimate regeneration and has decay wave and has those tendril things, Shigaraki isn't the type of person you should use melee on unless you're very fast and have a floating quirk as well. Basically talking about Deku when you use float on Shigaraki, so he wouldn't get decayed on the ground, because Shigaraki mostly does his work on the ground when he uses decay wave. Now, decay wave, I'm pretty sure we all know that All Might can jump very high. We know he can't fly, so jumping really high is basically his only way of getting out of that whole situation. But the thing with him jumping in the air, we don't really know if he can maneuver in the air. So he can dodge it since he's All Might, and if we're being honest, we're just giving him the benefit of the doubt so he can dodge the force tendrils. But the only problem is melee probably wouldn't work, because Shigaraki is almost as strong as All Might, because his strength has been comparable to All Might by Endeavor and Dr. Ujiko. Not only that, Shigaraki's regeneration is a problem. Now we're gonna do this in character. All Might, we'll just say All Might doesn't really know that Shigaraki's Nashimura's grandson, so we won't really say that he's trying to convince Shigaraki to be good or just stop this evil path. So we're just gonna say that All Might just doesn't know him and he's just ready to give him good old fisticuffs like he wanted to do with All For One. You could also say that his regeneration is comparable to the Nomu that also fought All Might, and you can always say that he's more durable than that Nomu that fought All Might. But the thing is, he may not be as strong as All Might, but he's almost there, and his regeneration is a problem. And the problem with All Might is he can only use his powers 3 hours a day. And if somebody who is comparable to All Might in strength or nearly there, and somebody who can regenerate is giving All Might a tough time, and not only that, the same Shigaraki was fighting off Ryukyu, Deku, Bakugo, Shoto, All Might, and not to mention Nejire Hado and Ida. This guy Shigaraki is a problem. I don't think All Might could be able to last very long. Before I get into that, I know you guys are already typing, where is Prime All Might versus Shigaraki, which I'll get into later in the video. And now, if I'm going to plug my own controller into All Might, what I would do for him is to try and finish the fight as soon as possible, but it looks like it's not even possible, because Endeavor, Deku, Bakugo, Shoto, Ryukyu, they tried doing that and that didn't work, because Shigaraki was so resilient. He was like a cockroach that couldn't be killed. Now I know you guys are trying to say, where would you put Shigaraki's durability? I think a good place to put Shigaraki's durability is probably above the USJ's Hayanomu that fought All Might. And I know what you guys are saying, that this is not fair, but we know that Shigaraki is resilient. He's not going to back down, mostly in his plus ultra form. Now I want everyone to keep in mind that it took All Might 300 hits to defeat this Hayanomu, and that's a lot. And All Might said it would have took less if he was in his prime form, but we'll get into that when I get into Prime All Might versus Shigaraki, because I have a different outcome on that. I do think that these 300 hits wouldn't matter, because Shigaraki would be able to regenerate from all these, but it does mean that All Might could be able to knock him out. But I don't think All Might would even get these 300 hits off, because Shigaraki has so much long distant quirks. One, he has the decay wave and the tendrils, and he has search in case All Might tries to hide and tries to gain his balance or gain his bearings. I do think enough damage is done. I think All Might could revert back to his Skin Might form, and we saw Shigaraki was able to put Endeavor, Deku, Bakugo, and Ryukyu out of commission. So Shigaraki can probably put All Might out of commission or kill him with an easy decay wave, or using his force tendrils on him. Problem is, All Might wouldn't have the aid of Eraserhead to erase Shigaraki's quirk, which is decay, and so All Might has to face off against decay and all of his other quirks by his lonesome. So I don't think that All Might could survive this, but let's actually get into the conclusion. Now, Shigaraki versus All Might, how would this fight play out? Now, I think All Might would first start out with trying to charge at him, trying to land some punches, but I think Shigaraki would use the Decay Wave. I think All Might would be able to react in time and jump up high in the air so he doesn't get hit by the Decay Wave. You guys may be asking, how would he find out? He'd see by the buildings getting crumbled around him, and he would be able to jump up in the air, and he's able to land safely. Shigaraki does have strength, but in a hand-to-hand combat, I do think All Might can win this if he keeps on landing consecutive punches, but the problem is, All Might doesn't have Eraserhead. So if Shigaraki lands one touch on him, All Might is decayed. A couple ways Shigaraki can also win is him running down the clock, and then All Might can just turn into his Small Might form and just turns into, Small Might, and Shigaraki's able to decay him easily. But the other ways or condition he can win is if he catches him off guard, basically pins him down with a tendril and uses Decay Wave and just decays All Might to oblivion, which again, that's very OP. I'm glad he didn't use that in the war, because that would have been the end of some of our characters. Now, how can All Might win? All Might can win if he lands some consecutive United States smash or Detroit smashes, or if he just gets up close and personal, not giving Shigaraki room to breathe, and is able to dodge some of Shigaraki's decaying. And if he can do that, landing consecutive smashes on Shigaraki, I do think he can come up with the W, but I do think Shigaraki wins this 6 out of 10 times, probably 7 out of 10. But we can move on to Prime All Might versus Plus Ultra Shigaraki. Now, Prime All Might. I know that people wanted this to happen. Now, my argument for Prime All Might, well, the same for Shigaraki. Prime All Might is just built different. I just gotta say that. He was easily able to be All For One, even though we weren't shown it. It was just shown that he was able to overcome All For One, but because of that, in his anger, because All For One killed his sensei, he sustained injury that basically made him the Small Might that we know today. And he was able to keep this form very well, and it wasn't really shown that there was any weaknesses to this form. It's just shown that he can use it for a very, very long time. You guys know I said we can just guesstimate that Shigaraki's a little bit more durable than the Hayanomu All Might fought in USJ, roughly like 2 times. All Might then said in his prime, when he defeated the Hayanomu, it would took 5 hits to defeat the Hayanomu. Now we times 2 times 5, that means 10. It would take 10 hits to defeat this Plus Ultra Shigaraki that we're guesstimating is a little bit above the Hayanomu in durability. Prime All Might should be faster than the All Might that we saw in the beginning of the series, so he should be able to easily jump up in the air and dodge the Decay Quirk and dodge the Force Tendrils and give Shigaraki the 1-2 combo, hitting him with the 10 punches, finishing him off with a Detroit Smash. Shigaraki, the only way I can see him winning is if he's able to dodge and try to decay Prime All Might, which is looking very hard because this Prime All Might would be faster than the All Might that we saw currently. So I think Prime All Might wins 8 out of 10 times, or you could just highball and just say 9 out of 10 times. It doesn't really matter, but Prime All Might wins. So technically it's a tie. Should I do an icebreaker? Well, not, because there's not really any more forms where Shigaraki versus All Might. We could just say Shigaraki before he got All For One, but that'd be stupid. So yeah, it's a tie. But Prime All Might is strong. He's very strong. And that should be the end of the video. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. It has been the Red Cloak. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification to always stay notified. And I'm out of you guys. Peace out. Have a great day and stay safe. I'm out.